other bait I've got, because it is coming that bit warmer, is pellets. I'm going to be using micros as a feed and 4 milli expanders on the hook. Now, preparing them, Jay's done a little bit different to me. I'll go over that in a sec. But if you're just going for like a few hours, or you just want to prepare them straight on a bank, that's how I do it. There's nothing complicated. What I'm going to do, all we need is a pellet pump. I'll just use the cheapest ones. We just get some expanders straight from the bag. These are 4 milli ones. You don't really want to be going to sort of like down the 6 milli route this time of year, because again, it's a little bit too selective. Just pour them in dry in there. You see, there's no water in there whatsoever. Next thing we need to do is sort of 1/2 to 3/4 fill that tube. We put the vacuum, if you like, over the top, and then it's just a case of just drawing all the air through the pellets until you get them sinking. Now, there's loads of different ones of these on the market. You know, you can spend a little bit of money on them so that like one pump and it sinks them all. But again, I don't want to be spending all that money. You know what I mean? I want to be spending my money on food. So all I do, it's just like probably what, 10 or 12 pumps. All them expanders will sink to the bottom, and that's it, done, dusted. You leave them for sort of 15 minutes this time of year in the colder water, and they'll be ready for you. Now, as far as sort of liquids and additives on, at that stage where you're like putting the water in, you can experiment with that. You know, if you've got confidence in something over another, then put it on. It's up there. As I said, fishing's about confidence as well. But as I said, 15 minutes time, leave them in the water and they'll be perfect. When it comes a little bit warmer, which we'll do in future episodes, you don't really want to be leaving in water. You want to make sure they're in shade, because they can swell up and split, can't they?
Very soft, very quickly, can't they? Especially when they've been pumped, can't they?
Absolutely. So that's why Jay does them a little bit different to me, which will come to in a sec. So that's that done. The next thing I'll show you is our micros. So 2 milli micros, nice and easy. Just get enough out for a session, which is about that. No, it's not really. We'll get sort of like what, quarter of a tub like that. That's more than enough for a session.
Yeah, surprising how few you need, isn't it? You're only feeding such small amounts with your pellets.
You don't need a lot, because obviously like a little pinch like that you're putting in, you see how much bait's there. That's going down into like a tea bag area, so it just keeps fish mooching around, num 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 for ages. Now, the worst thing in the world you can do is feed them straight out of the bag like that, because obviously they'll float.
Far too light.
Any amount of wind or undertow on, it's going to take the fish and your bait out your swim. You don't know where it is. So what we've got to do is prepare them by soaking them. And again, at this stage, experiment with liquids and stuff like that. If you want to put liquids in the water, by all means do it. So all we need to do is like that, completely cover them. Now they're going to take, again, because the water's a bit colder, they'll probably take 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do...
Leave them like that now, do you? You don't bother draining them off?
Absolutely, Jay. No, I'll leave
exactly
them like that,
same,
8 to 10 minutes, and then I'll put them in a right fine, you know, bottom of a mesh of a landing net, and squeeze all that excess water out, and then another sort of 8 to 10 minutes on from that, they're nice and fluffy and they're ready to go.
Definitely.
Again, summertime, you probably only need them for what, 3 or 4 minutes?
Yeah, the water temperature makes a big difference, doesn't it?
As I said, Jay does his expanders a little bit different, mate, doesn't you?
Yeah, going back to mindset. For my own personal fishing, it's 100% match orientated. So what I like to do is just get my expanders done before I leave in the morning, just to save a couple of minutes on the bank, because in all honesty, I'm the world's worst at getting ready on time as it is. So it's just going to help me out a little bit. So the way I do mine, this isn't my idea, this come from Andy Bennett a long time ago.
The bagger?
It's simply some expanders in a bag, a little bit of water on top of them, not a lot.
That's all you're putting in?
Just a little tiny bit.
A little bit.
And I want to squeeze them into the corner of my bag, and I get rid of most of that water. So I just keep on squeezing until you've got a tiny little bit of water at the bottom, and it's all over my leg.
Oh yes.
With a tiny little bit of water at the bottom, and I'll just tear my bag then. And I can chuck them in the fridge the night before, or I can just do them, to be honest, in the summer you can do them just before you leave. That's just plain, normal, cold water. And by leaving them, I end up with a nice soft pellet, but it remains really dense, which helps me keep it on my hook, and it keeps them a lot tighter on them warm, sunny days in the summer to save them spreading. So they're not actually expanding, they're staying nice and tight, but at the same time they're not too wet that they're going to go to a mush.
So they're not going to sort of like mush up in, you know, when it's warmer?
No, they'll stay lovely, they'll stay nice and firm, as long as I keep them cold.
Do you need to sort of like put them in water and squeeze them?
That's my only issue with them.
Right, okay.
So to ensure everyone sinks,
right,
I just want to grab my pellets out the bag.
Put a few in there so we can see them.
Let's put some in there, lovely little floaty ones. So they're very, very floaty.
Right, get you.
They're all going to float because they've not had the air expelled out of them like Andy's would in the pump.
Right, so all we need to do with them is just give them a light squeeze.
A little squeeze.
Would a hook through them?
Possibly.
See, that's all that's sinking now. I mean, that's going down.
Already there with a big enough, heavy enough hook, they'd happily sink and create a nice neutral buoyancy.
Right.
But just to make sure in my head, I like my pellets to be as heavy as possible so I can anchor my bait on the bottom. So by squeezing them, I'm going to make my bait as heavy as possible, which will help me keep my bait where I want it. That's my preferred way of doing my expanders.
Mate, you see, as I said, fishing at the start of the programme, you know, it's all about learning. You never stop learning in this sport, and it's so diverse. I've learned something new there. I've never done my expanders like that. I've always put them through a pump. So
again, going back to what you're on about, it's a personal thing. You're stealing them, are you?
Mate, I'm having them.
So there's no difference between the pellets it's just a personal thing. It's your preferred way, what you have confidence in, and ultimately that catches your fish. Having confidence and knowing what you're doing, that's what makes you a better angler instead of being worried and a little bit cautious.
Mate, definitely.
Gets the job done, doesn't it?
What you've got confidence in, that's going to work for you. But personally, I'll be on whole wheat brown bread.